Good evening and salutations, my huge fans. So, we got temp jobs today. Um, it was fun. She didn't really have many scenes. She did her thing. It's one of those things where it's like you can tell when an actress has made the character their own. I don't. For the most part, I try not to knock people who come in and do they come in for like a day or so, whatever, to sit there and just kind of cover the role. I try not to be too hard on them because they're only there for a few days. But it's more of a credit to Eden McCoy to. It's like the feel is different. She's been doing it so long that it just became like second nature in some ways. Sit there and kind of be Josh, like her mannerisms and everything like that. So it's always really interesting when you have a recast come in or somebody comes in for a day and it's just like it just doesn't even feel right because they've been there so long and has done the thing so long that they're so good at it that it feels off. Now Esme came over and she wanted to have a one-on-one conversation with Trina, to thank her for getting Spencer to back off. But Trina was like, I already knew right then when she was like, I just want to thank you for really helping me out and stuff like that. And Trina was like, yeah, I didn't do that for you. I did that for me. And Esme apologizes for the things that she done, even if she doesn't remember. It still happens. It still happened, and she apologizes. Trina felt like that was sincere. But the thing was, she was like, maybe we could sit there and be friends one day. And that's when I was like, yeah, I don't see that happening. Hell would have to freeze over before that happens. And she pretty much just said like, yeah, we can be cordial with each other, but that's as far as it ever goes. Now, here's the thing. I know a lot of people. There's people that don't like Esme. There's people that want to sit there and see her go to jail to pay for her crimes. But let's just be honest for a hot minute, okay? If every person had to sit there and pay for their crimes, half of the characters in the damn show would be in jail right now. So whenever people sit there and say, well, I'm not going to sit there and let it go until she pays for her crimes. I'm like, yeah, okay, I guess I was going to freeze over at that point because there are so many, and granted, even within the other soap operas, there's so many characters that probably deserve to go to jail to pay for their crimes. We just wouldn't have any soap operas at that point. So yeah, the whole Friends thing was just not going to happen. When she gets back in, she's like, listen, she apologized and I believed her, but I don't trust her. You know, I don't think anybody in those circumstances probably would. And that's the thing. When you wrong somebody, there's only so much you can sit there and do. And sometimes you have to sit there and apologize and just hope it's enough. And if not, hey, you know what? You try. Um, and the same thing with Trina. You don't have just because somebody apologizes, you don't have to forgive them. You know, you don't have to sit there and let that define you moving forward and hold all that resentment. But you don't have to sit there and accept somebody's apology just because he said it. Now, up until this point, I've been just saying, can we please? I'm like, we got to do something. We either got to sit there and have her go because this Esme isn't working, or you need to bring the old Esme back. And I've been saying that for a very long time. And today, while she was with Ace and decorating the tree and stuff like that, she had a flashback, and so she's going to start to remember the old version of her, the fun version of her, and I'm here for it. I am here for it. nice version was not working. So I guess in some ways Christmas has actually kind of come a little bit early. I did ask for that. It's one of the things I did ask for. Blaze and Christina. Blaze and Christina. They're getting all cozy and everything like that, holding hands and stuff. The minute that Brooklyn comes over with Chase and Violet and everything like that, she kind of just, snatches her hand. And right then and there, it's like I felt that level of not just awkward and uncomfortable, just more just like that level of hurt. Now, Blaze didn't come out, right? And so I'm not the person to really sit there and kind of speak on, stuff as far as the LGBT and stuff like that. So I'm not, I can't really sit there and say, oh, she shouldn't have done that, should have done that, whatever. I'm just saying from Christina's point, you can clearly see the hurt on her face. Now, they came over there, and prior to that, Leo told Violet, that Santa Claus isn't real. And I'm sitting there looking at my phone because, he just was talking. It was kind of boring, whatever. And then Leo was like, oh, yeah, by the way, Santa's not real. I'm just like, oh, this is going to be awkward. I looked back up my TV. It was like, oh, this is going to be awkward. Blaze was able to take care of it. Basically, snitched to Santa's real, and she's going to teach her singing lessons. And, Leo came back and Leo apologized. So everything worked out in the end. But then for some odd reason, they felt the need to sit there, and do a flashback with Christina when Blaze snatched her hand away. And I'm just like, I think that we got it the first time. I don't think, it was almost like they wanted to sit there and put like a neon light. Like, remember that part? Like, yeah, it wasn't really that long ago, but oh, okay, I'm sure. So Brenda's the type of guy who just clearly cannot take no for an answer. And I think that part of the reason why Carly is entertaining this is because the guy seemed like he has money and maybe, him coming in there spending his money or whatever. It's like, okay, whatever. Carly looks good. She's going to get hit on a lot. But part of me is just like, I think maybe if the dude is just average Joe Schmo or whatever and maybe wasn't so much as charming or whatever, she would have shut that down a lot faster. Because he did sit there and say, oh, by the way, I want to sit there and get to know you better. I'm just like, okay, so this is just starting to get awkward and uncomfortable to watch. She shuts it down once again. They get to talking, and then he gets a phone call, and he just darts out of there. Meanwhile, Dante and Anna are talking about, Brendan and Forsyth, some money that's missing, the Swiss bank account that was on the wallet. That's what those numbers was the wallet. Anyway, $10 million something dollars is like missing, and long story short, it seems that Brendan wants to make sure that the files and everything like that are covered up, and that nobody is going to be able to sit there and see the light of day of it. Now, Anna did sit there and say before things go down, if you saw the promos, you know what I'm talking about, that she didn't want him involved. Things was going to get kind of dangerous and stuff. He's like, nope, I'm going to do it anyway. And Sam's sitting there looking into the Brendan guy. Carly comes over because you can't not have a storyline. Well, to be fair, Carly was never mind. Anyway, Carly looks at the picture and she's like, "Oh yeah, I know that guy." And Sam is like, "Oh, the head of WSB," and Carly's like, "Yeah, he told me he was in security. So not only is he a creep that will not take no for an answer, but he's also a liar as well." And when Brendan meets that guy, I gotta get this guy's name. Meets the guy in the alley. He pretty much just went there saying like, "Yo, listen, you need to find a way to neutralize this cop and deal with Anna." Again, if you saw the previews, the promo, you got guns blazing. I'm just thinking, So much reminds me of the good old Bob Guza days. You know, I did actually take those days for granted, and I missed them ever since. Now, TJ and Molly get some um, sad news. I guess it's somewhat sad, but it's more just like disappointing news. When they talk to Navarro, that their timetable is way off. They came in there thinking they were just going to pretty much impregnate Christina, and things are going to be going like the next day. And she's like, "Yeah, so that's going to be like 6 months from now." And so they're disappointed. Molly's sitting there like she feels bad because she's like, "I don't want to sit there and hold my sister's life up. She has a life too. She got the center going on. She got Charlie's, which it's whatever in itself. What the hell happened to Phyllis? Somebody in my comment section was like, "Yeah, so what happened to Phyllis?" And that is GH Phyllis, by the way, just in case people were wondering. Which is no one's wondering, never mind. But yeah, she was the manager at the bar, and I know that Christina got like a promotion, but like, did she move? Are we just not gonna talk about it? We just gonna act like it didn't happen? What are we pulling a B&B? Like, what's going on? But yeah, she's like, I don't want to sit there and keep her life on hold. I'm also just like, why don't you just go back to the surrogacy thing again? You don't want to keep your sister's life on hold, and you find out it is disappointing. So just go back with the surrogate thing, and you don't have to sit there and worry about putting this person's life on hold. You know, I mean, yeah, it's going to be coming more out of their pockets, but if it's something that they want, DJ's a doctor, Molly is a DA, whatever. Make it work. Make it work. Start going to, taking those PB and J sandwiches to work. I don't know, make it work. Um, Jocelyn sit there and say she's gonna be hanging out studying with Adam. And Trina was like, "Yeah, did you sit there and say that y'all two weren't really working out? I mean, like, I feel bad for him, but like, he's not your problem." But Josh is a person that just has a big heart. Um, and seeing everything he's going through, she's like, "Whatever, I'll do it." Again, we all know that this is probably going to wind up backfiring, so yeah. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be kind of awkward sitting at there seeing scenes. I don't know how long she's gone for, but seeing scenes with this temp Jaws and Dennis. It's gonna be hella awkward. So I'm gonna sit there and say it's gonna be awkward. But Brooklyn and Chase is in this episode. They didn't really do too much, so they're not really that much worth mentioning. But Gregory is gonna sit there and ask Tracy to go skydiving, and Alexa's like, "Yeah, that's not gonna work out." And at one point, Alexa's like, "Why don't you just go by yourself? Just do it. Just do it." Alexis was previously asked to go, but I mean, she's Alexis, so she's not doing that. And granted, to be fair, most people wouldn't do that. But towards the end, she's like, "All right, fine, I'll do it." And I felt like she was going to do it. I really did. I couldn't imagine him and Tracy sitting there going skydiving. All in all, I would sit there and say this was a decent episode. I'm glad we're actually getting to a point where they're not just filler episodes. They're actually decent episodes. I can do decent episodes. I would love to do amazing episodes, but I can sit there and do decent episodes. I felt like enough good stuff happened to sit there and make it like, you should sit there and watch it tonight. Whenever the hell they actually play it on Hulu, because Hulu would sit there and say 8 o'clock and it'd be like 10 o'clock, and it may just come on or may just come on the next day. Who knows? Um, I feel like that's about it. Like I said, I didn't really talk about Chase and Brooklyn because they were just kind of there. Um, I had a little conversations, but it was nothing that was like, oh my god, you really need to sit there and know about it. They just talked about Maxie and Gregory. That was it. That was the bottom line. Um. Anyway, if I did forget anything, you know what to do. Come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about all the shows: General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Born and Beautiful, and Young and the Restless. Um. People, yeah. So yeah, we'll sit there and talk about that. We got a lot to talk about. And not just GH stuff, but I mean GH stuff, I mean Emmy stuff, I mean yeah. We got a lot to sit there and talk about. So I'm only gonna be streaming for an hour and a half since I have to work like at an ungodly hour. But we're gonna get it in there. We're gonna get a lot of stuff in there though. So definitely come through. With that being said, I'm gonna go. I wanna thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.